This gentleman from the Golf Channel happens to have grown up in the Philadelphia area. Is it our fault? Is it his fault
No.
that he's been on the Golf Channel forever and he's another Philadelphia area guy?
Temple guy, too.
Exactly right. Rich, how are you, man?
Good, fellas. How we doing?
Beautiful, man.
I'm doing, as we say in Philly, I'm doing really good. Really good. I just had a hoagie for lunch. It was really good. And, the Phillies are really bad. And
wait a minute, let him play a couple of games first. Come on, Rich. I know it's early to jump on the bandwagon, or off the bandwagon.
That's a good accent.
No,
though,
I know it is.
Going there.
But you don't do that on. See, you're eliminating, much like myself and Harry. We've eliminated that Philly accent when we do our professional broadcasting stuff.
Speaking of lunch, by the way, in this new world, I've been packing my lunch. And I just haven't done that since I was at Camp Adventure in 1973.
In the Pocono Mountains? Was that in the Poconos?
No, it was in the Lehigh Valley. It was, I'm reminded, I just pulled the turkey sandwich out of the little baggies there. And the turkey sandwich, the baggie that held the sandwich is bigger than the dry cleaning bags they give you in hotels, which still pisses me off. Like, I'm on the road a lot, and I've got, if it's a 2-week run, and I've got 3 suits, like on a Tuesday, 3 suits, 4 dress shirts, some pants, some socks, and underwear. I have to stuff all of that in a bag that barely can hold a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And have you ever tried to stuff that in, Tony, when you're on the road?
Oh, yeah,
you're
absolutely.
Like punching the thing and to try to get it in? I mean, can they give you a bigger bag? I don't understand that.
Well, it's funny. Michael Bradley, one of our friends, he eats brown bags to this day. I mean, he gets this. But he uses a paper bag when it comes to lunch, though. Do you use a paper or plastic?
No, I upgraded. I have the, where you put the ice pack in, and then you sling it over your shoulder. And no, it's I've upgraded here.
Beautiful. Wow.
And I've got an apple. I'm big on with my diet. I'm big on taking the apple and then staring at it for a week. While I hoover the salt and vinegar chip. But I'm somehow staring at the apple is good for your overall health.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I feel that way.
Now, the hell with golf talk. Let's just talk about food and lunch product. I'm getting hungry right now, Rich. All right, Rich. Now we had the crazy news, but everybody was in a panic again because we're all hovering on that brink of, oh no, now the PGA Tour is going to shut down. And luckily, yesterday when we heard from the commissioner that they know the 2 main golfers, did not have it. Their caddies did. And then the other guy who just won over the weekend, Webb Simpson, said, screw it, I just won a big check down in Hilton Head. I'm going to stay away from Connecticut, too.
Well, Webb Simpson had a family member test positive. I don't know which family member. And out of an abundance of caution, that's a phrase we're hearing a lot, he decided to stay away. So, look, they've done, since they've come back, this is the 3rd week, they've done over 2,500 on-site tests. That's players, caddies, and officials. And they've had 0.25, 1/4% test positive.
Right.
So I don't think anybody needs to panic at this point. I think we're all vigilant. I mean, everybody knows what's going on. And what's different about the PGA Tour versus, say, what the NBA is going to try to do is this is a traveling bubble, which can't be hermetically sealed. The NBA will set it down in one spot, Orlando, Florida, and keep everything contained. PGA Tour has gone from Texas, which had a big spike, to South Carolina, which had an enormous rise in cases, and now to Connecticut, which is has flattened and even depressed the curve. And so, not easy to go from city to city while the virus is raging, and we know that it is. But so far, I think they've done a reasonably good job. And I'm not here to cheerlead for the tour, but I would agree with the commissioner. They're, like everybody else in this country, they're learning to live with and work under these conditions in the Corona world. And so long as it continues to be reasonably safe and doesn't impact negatively the communities in which they're working, I think keep going. It's been a nice distraction, and I don't think there's any reason to shut it down at this point. Could change. You never know. It could change, but I don't think there's any reason. There's some people are saying that it's time to shut it down. I don't agree with that right now.
Well, I was panicked yesterday around 1:30 when I saw tweets saying that the commissioner was in a jet headed for Hartford, and there was a press conference scheduled at 2 o'clock, whatever, that got pushed back to 2:30. And I'm thinking, oh, boy, here we go, because if they can't control a virus with a socially distanced type of sport like golf, how are they going to be able to control it with, sports where guys come in contact with one another, like hockey and basketball and such? So that's why I was panicked, and I was glad.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was smart. I mean, I understand that when we all had that sort of reaction. Here comes the commissioner. But I think he needed to get out in front of it and speak to the players and to the world. And I thought he did a solid job allaying fears yesterday. But I mean, who knows what we're in store for? I mean, I'm told the NFL is going to play the first month without fans. I don't know what you guys have heard, but the first month without fans. College football, I think college football might be in some trouble here. I mean, you have more than 20 positive cases down at Clemson. Texas had a number of cases. I don't know how you get kids back on campus and keep them tucked away, and that'll have far-reaching consequences on college athletics, because the football supports so many other sports.
Right.
The bigger schools, Clemson's and Texas's will survive it, but I think as the further down you go, it could really have an enormous and negative impact. But anybody that says they can see a month down the road, 2 months down the road is fooling you. We just can't. And I mean, I think that what's unnerving is that the graph is going the wrong way. The 7-day rolling average on this thing is not good, and we just have not done. We just haven't done a good job with it. It's not a political statement in any way. That's just a fact. We just haven't done a good job with it relative to the rest of the world. And if you look at the 7-day rolling average of the European Union versus the United States, we're not even in their ballpark. So we have to deal with it, live with it, and try to move forward best as we can. And we, everybody sort of thought we were going to get a little bit of a break here in the summertime with the warmer weather. That doesn't appear to be happening. And then, it's frightening to think what could happen in the fall and winter. And that's the confusion. Hey, do I have the flu? Do I have corona? I don't know. I sound a little bit alarmist, but these are just the facts right now. And so I think we're all trying to figure out. You guys are back at work. I'm back at work, and our building has all sorts of protocols and arrows and rooms. I'm in a separate room. Billy Kratzert's our analyst today. He's in a different room than I am. It's a scaled down staff, and we're doing the best that we can, because I think I certainly like the idea of being back to work, and we have to try to generate some economy here. But man, this is not an optimal situation. That's for sure.
Rich Lerner of the Golf Channel joining us. Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, and Rich. We're a couple of weeks away from. Aren't there supposed to be people at the memorial now? That's coming up.
Fans.
Yeah. You think that's going to be put on hold now because of the recent? I mean, there's only been 7 positives out of like 2,757 tests, and the only thing I can think of is maybe they say, hey, pump the brakes on the memorial crowds out there in Ohio.
They could very well decide to do that. I don't know, but right now the plan is to have, I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 8,000 fans a day. They'll all be given a badge, and the tournament officials will be able to track them through some chip that's implanted in the badge and track people so that they don't have clusters gathered where people are on top of one another. They claim they have a good plan in place. I know the people at Memorial, they're sharp people. In theory, it seems like, they might be able to pull it off, but I don't know. And again, what is that, about a month away or 3 weeks away? A lot can change between now and then.
I think Harry has a countdown clock to the Memorial.
Because that's Tiger's return.
Yes. Yeah. Now, Harry has Harry in his phone. I'm not making this up, Rich. Harry Mays has countdown clocks to, like, the Masters.
Yeah, the Masters.
He's got him to the Memorial. He's got it to college football, the opening of the Temple season, the Eagles season, baseball season. He's got everything.
That's all we can do right now is
countdown clocks in his phone.
Yeah. 139 days and 15 hours till the Masters.
139 days and 15 hours.
How are my Owls going to be this year if there is football?
If there is football, probably 8 wins.
Yeah.
Do they go to the Marmot Bowl?
Yeah.
They don't go down to the new bowl that's been changed now, the Belk Bowl, because they're not eligible for the conference,
their
right?
conference is not affiliated with that.
Listen, Temple has come a long way.
No doubt.
I love Temple. I mean, I went there early 80s and absolutely loved every part of it. The city life, taking a subway to school with my daily news, reading Stan Hochman and Ray Didinger and John Schulian. And I mean, the only sports page that I thought rivaled the Philadelphia Daily News back in the day was the old Boston Globe. The Sunday Globe with Will McDonough and Dan Shaughnessy and Bob Ryan on basketball. But anyway, I remember back in the day, you might recall these ads, Tony. Temple's just a great sort of every-man school, every-woman school. And they used to run ads where they would have a fresh-faced college student stare right into the camera and say, I could have gone anywhere, but I chose Temple. Now they can hold on a second. You telling me you could have gone to Yale, to Harvard, but you chose to go to Wilkie Buick University. You chose to go to Wimpy University. Come on, I mean, I love this school as much as anybody, but honestly, no, Temple.
I remember those spots. I remember those spots vividly because I did a mock-up of them. You know, I'm Tony Bruno. I could have gone to Yale, Stanford, Harvard, all great schools, but I chose Temple University. Then those were the ads. And Bill Cosby was even doing ads. This is so-and-so. He could have gone anywhere. They should bring those back. Bring those back.
Temple chose me. Okay?
Right.
Temple chose me, and here's how it chose me. After I struggled at leafy and prestigious Lehigh University, I got a little too rambunctious at a fraternity my sophomore year. I was in Alpha Kappa Dumbbell, which was right next to Phi Sigma Moron, which is,
I've been to both those places, yes.
Fraternities are licensed to do stupid things, aren't they?
Right.
Especially back in those days. And now Lehigh was a little too rigorously academic for me, and then Temple chose me and said, here, come on.
You could have been an engineer.
Yeah.
You could have been an engineer at Lehigh.
I was at Sigma Tau Booze at Shippensburg, too, and flunked out after 3
Let me tell you
years.
something. We had. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to potentially damage my reputation here, but it was a long time ago. But we had mechanical engineers in our fraternity, civil engineers, electrical engineers, every imaginable engineer, smartest of the smart. And our first semester sophomore year, all of these engineers gathered. I think we had a cum of 1.8, but we did come up with a great discovery thanks to our engineering team. We figured out a way to make one bong go from 17 rooms to one central location.
Wow. That's engineering right there.
Yeah,
Screw MIT. Who needs MIT when you have those kind of minds?
Jeez.
That was engineering. And I'm telling you, I don't know how the hell we all made it out of there, but we did. You ever look back and go, and that's why I'm reluctant to criticize two boys in their 20s, and I always say about, say, hey, you lean into your kids, you get on them. I said, listen, my kids are 300 mistakes behind me at the same age. So, no, I back off of my boys now.
Now, Harry has action at this Travelers. Who do you like, Rich, when this all is said and done?
I took Abraham Answer. He didn't get out to a great start. He's 3 under.
I'm always pulling for guys. Now, I grew up losing at the Berkeley Country Club. It was a fine Jewish club in Pennsylvania. I lost to guys named Abe and Morty and Izzy. I had a match once. I was like the Jewish Johnny Miller, and I was like a young teenage golfer of great promise, and I used to choke my guts out. And I was playing Shim Benioff in the first round of the club championship, and Shim was like an 11. I was at 2, and he had me 4 down with 5 to go. I was trying to figure out how was I going to tell my father and all my friends that I lost to a guy who sells mink skulls to women named Mildred and Myrtle and Roz.
Yeah, but you never went to Craft Brothers 937 South Street Store of the Stars, did you?
I never made it there. I've gone to Boys many times. So, but to finish the Shim story, Shim wore orthopedic shoes with laces up the side, and he used to get it back to his hip and explode into the ball. And he managed with it, the burning skulls and some decent chipping. He would get it around an 83. So he had me 4 down with 5 to go, and he started choking. I won 3 holes in a row with bogey, and on 17, I was in the trees dead. The match is over, and Shim, all he had to do was bunt one like 130 yards down this short par 4, and he sculled it, and it went over the pine trees and onto the roof of the porn shop, which sat adjacent to the club. Landed right on the roof of the adult bookstore. He made triple, and I won on the 19th hole. Wow. I rallied only to lose to Sam Blinderman, who was 35 years older, a foot shorter, and sold women's undergarments wholesale. I lost to Blindy.
Wow.
How did your dad react to that one?
That's my story as a young golfer, and lo and behold, all these years I end up at Golf Channel. Holy!
But Harry Mays is golfer. You didn't give him any love.
What, Abraham Answer?
So look, Abe. First of all, Abe Answer. Go look it up on YouTube. There's a phenomenal story. It's very powerful about Abraham Answer. He's from Reynosa, Mexico, the pride of Reynosa. And the story of his father taking him to the local club there. He lost his father, I want to say maybe 6 years ago. Went to high school in a border town in Texas, junior college, and has made it big. He's a wonderful story. I like Abe's game. He played really well last week. I like McIlroy. I think Rory, I'll go with the chalk. I mean, it's not a bold pick, but he's number 1 in the world. I think he ironed out a few kinks the last couple of weeks, and he shot 63 today. And the Canadian kid shot 60 today. Play a different game. I mean, these guys shoot 60, and you don't even bat an eyelash anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, speaking of a different game, this DeChambeau guy, I mean, he's carrying the ball 340 yards, 350 yards?
Well, look, I spent the pandemic, I was desperate for sports, and I locked into the 1992 World's Strongest Man competition, and it was Olaf Klufbeschluv pulling an apartment building, a full city block in Helsinki. It was very compelling. And it's just only to tune into golf, and there is the world's strongest man. There's Bryson DeChambeau, who he looks like an offensive lineman right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not like a NFL. Like he plays maybe for Juniata College or Muhlenberg.
Widener.
Yeah. How about like Colming? I mean, let's say, give him Shippensburg.
Harry, why don't you run me right through the Pennsylvania Conference right now?
The PSAC.
The PSAC.
East Stroudsburg.
Wait, not PSAC. That's a different conference right there.
Millersville.
PSAC.
Shippy.
Yep.
We get to Shippy, Indiana, Pennsylvania,
California.
Kutztown. All right,
Exactly.
for a token deuce, $2. Name me 2 NFL players from Kutztown.
Well, Andre Reed.
Andre Reed, one of the all-time greats.
And there was a linebacker that played for the Broncos. I forget his name.
Yes. And we had him on. No, he's local too.
Yeah. Oh man.
We had him on the show.
I'll give you another one. He returned kicks for the New York Jets.
I know this, and it's bugging me. Is his first name Mark?
Yeah.
No, that's a joke.
No.
It's an ongoing joke on the show.
It's not Crabette. He went to Hofstra.
No, Wayne Crabette went to Hofstra, yes.
Boy, I don't know.
How about Bruce Harper?
Bruce Harper.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then I think Doug Dennison was a running back for the Cowboys.
Yes, Doug Dennison, that's right.
Was a Kutztown product.
I didn't know he went to Kutztown. I know who that player is, but wow. I got to look up this linebacker from the Broncos. I know he played
But anyway,
everybody's dropping all these schools. Slippery Rock, Lockhaven.
Yeah.
In Lebanon Valley College.
Lebanon Valley. Stop and get some Utz's pretzels.
Yes.
In the Lebanon area.
Lebanon, they say up there. Lebanon.
Get off. You don't have none. Say not.
See, now that's where I grew up.
Yeah, see, that's Harry. Harry's a Berks County guy. That's good Berks County knowledge right there, man.
Here it is.
DeChambeau, look, honestly, what he's doing is borderline revolutionary. I mean, he is he's a guy who put on, I want to say, 35, 40 pounds in the last 4 or 5 months. He's added 2 shirt sizes. Which a lot of us did during the shutdown, but and lost yardage off the tee. He was of the mind. This is the guy who's made his way as kind of the mad scientist. That was sort of his brand coming out of college at SMU. He uses all same size golf clubs. In other words, the 9 iron's the same length as the 3 iron. Side saddle putting for a while. He uses wind gauges in practice, and so he determined, and it's not a brilliant discovery, but what is it? Increased mass with increased speed gives you greater distance, and he's now the longest driver in golf. He went from maybe 3-4 years ago, he was middle of the pack, 45th, 299 yards off the tee to 323 off the tee. And his swing looks sort of like the kind of swing you see with the long drive guys who play in those long drive competitions. Like it's real, it's kind of caveman. You know, it's not elegant, but he hit the ball really straight. And on top of it all, he is and was a very accomplished and well-rounded player. He's not just a long hitter. So the thinking is he's going to change the game. That guys coming behind him are going to be, weightlifters and just big dudes, and you're trying to create as much speed as you can and just hit it forever. Because it's obviously it makes sense if you have 105 yards in versus 175, you have a better chance to make birdie from 105, even if you're in the rough. And he's had really good results, lots of top fives in the last, 7-8 tournaments. So he's the sort of the buzz of golf. It's like, hey, have you seen how far Bryson is hitting it? And even McIlroy, who played with him, was blown away. And I promise you, Rory isn't easily blown away. And Rory hits it 320, 321 off the tee. So he can move it as well.
Rich Lerner. Rich, one thing, you're not following me on Twitter. That could be a violation, and I'm not going to get you any.
Wait a minute. Did I not follow you on Twitter?
I'm not going to get you any Seltzers, Lebanon, Bologna next time I go up to Lebanon. Lebanon.
John Mobley was the guy I was thinking
that's
of.
right. He went to the Denver Broncos. He was a
first-round draft pick from Kutztown.
Exactly right. Kutztown State or Kutztown. That's after they lost the state. Rich, happy birthday to Monty. It's his 57th birthday today, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Colin Montgomery. Yeah. Good stuff. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Thanks.
Bye, Harry. Bye, Tone.
There he is, Rich Lerner. You can't get better kibitzing about golf than that anywhere else.
That was pretty awesome.
Nowhere. We're coming right back. Stick around.